Greetings, and welcome to a very special edition of The Great Experiment. Now, this episode of The Great Experiment has supplanted a previously conceived episode, which means you get at least one more guaranteed. Ha ha! Rejoice, rejoice, there's more to come. No, today I had an idea for an episode all in my head. Was ready to enact that episode. And then it occurred to me, I better check the Facebook wall first. You could call this the Tinfoil Hat edition of The Great Experiment, because I've seen things today that bother me. I won't mention names, at least for the first one. However, if you are going to post an article that you have checked out on Snopes and know for a fact that the article is caca, don't post the article. Furthermore, don't post the article while at the same time saying, yeah, I Snoped this, and it's probably not true. According to Snopes, it's probably just not true. But, boy, just imagine if it were. Because all you're doing is perpetuating a lie and misinformation. You're part of the problem. Be part of the solution. Post responsibly. The article in question has to do with... And that's why you don't post this crap when you know it's not true. Please, I beg you, post responsibly. Thank you. Today's episode also involves the disparity between two simple words, your and your. Let's begin. And before we continue, I will warn you that today's edition of The Great Experiment is also the School's Out for Icing Day. We had some heavy weather in the 24073, and therefore schools are closed, which means that everybody's home, and there is lots going on today. So there may be some accessory noise, there may be a few interruptions, we'll just have to see how it goes. But the reason that today's planned episode of The Great Experiment was supplanted is because of an innocent little post I saw on the wall of my friend Lisa, fellow graduate from the class of 1986 Christiansburg High School. Go Blue Demons! Her seemingly innocent post got my wheels turning, and it reads like this, and I quote, going to the screen. Today's pet peeve, incorrect use of your. It's a contraction for you are. Your welcome is not right. It is your welcome. There, my work here is done. You're welcome. I applaud her for this. I have seen this very kind of thing done many, 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 many times. I have seen other words transposed for your and your, like there, and there. And I applaud people when they try to do this. Sometimes people are like, yeah, solidarity! And other times people are like, you're just a grammar snob. Who cares? Well, I'll tell you who cares. Everybody cares, or at least everybody should. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a society now where the verbal form of communication is rapidly being replaced with the visual form of communication. And what you present on a virtual piece of paper or an actual one can tell someone reading it more about you than you can possibly imagine. I have a friend on Facebook. I won't mention names, especially out of respect. However, this particular friend will sometimes rant some more about local issues involving the school system or the local government or things that are happening in a tertiary kind of bubble from here. But this person is very involved in all things dramatic. And when this person goes off on a bender and spews it all out on Facebook, I try to read it. I do. I really do. I want to agree with this person, or at least understand them, but I can't get past the bastardized use of the English language on the written page. I can't. I just can't. Misappropriation of the word there, and misuse of your, and don't even get me started on the misuse of the apostrophe. I can't take it. I can't read it. And what it does is it takes what might otherwise be a rational, reasonable, point-on-point presentation of a particular point of view. It turns that into something that I have to think comes from the back door of somebody's trailer park hovel. Sorry, that's very elitist and I apologize, but this is what it puts in my head. While the person speaking is wearing a tinfoil hat. It's awful. Please express yourself with grammatical correctness. If you're going to use the English language to present yourself, then please do so eloquently. Because otherwise you just look like an idiot. Part of my response, and I'm going back to the screen now, part of the response was when people post this on Facebook. And honestly, I know it's going to be a bad day when I see this posted on Facebook. And I'll say it as you read along because it does make a difference. Because it's one thing to hear it spoken. It's another thing to see it written. And I almost guarantee that if you were to read this without my narration, you'd still hear it in the same voice. You're never going to believe what I found out. My daughter's teacher says that she's reading at a lower level than a 6th grader. I'm going to give that stupid teacher a piece of my mind. It happens all the time. We can stop this. If the Harlem Shake can go viral, why can't a message about proper grammatical use as society begins to lean very heavily toward a visual form of communication? Why can't something like that go viral? Perhaps it's time. Maybe we'll make a PSA. And when I do, I'll post it. And it's up to you to forward it to everyone you know. It's coming soon. Watch for it. Heard a story last night about a pirate, and I must share it with you now. And this will leave you on this Friday, February the 22nd, 2013, hopefully with a little bit of a chuckle. And the story goes like this. A pirate, one night, stormed into a pub by the seaside, off the docks. And every head turned as this pirate walked into the pub. And there was one thing that everybody noticed straight away. It wasn't the eye patch. It wasn't the peg leg. It wasn't the hook for a hand. No. It was the fact that this pirate had a ship's wheel crammed down the front of his trousers. And as the pirate approached the bartender was staring at him. The pirate walks up and he says to the bartender, he says, "Give me a mug full of your strongest grog. I've had a day." The bartender nods and he says, "Absolutely, mate. But I gotta ask you a question. Are you aware that there's a ship's wheel stuck down the front of your trousers?" The pirate said, "Aye, absolutely I'm aware. It's driving me nuts."
Good job, Dad.
See ya.